Okay, can you tell I'm struggling here with the video? Apparently my daughter's been attempting to record too many YouTube videos, so I ran out of storage or something. There's like 1.5 hour long videos on my camera roll. So, moving right along, what were we talking about? You need a length of strap. Oh, I should have shown you these masks like before we even started, so you know what it's supposed to look like. I guess you saw it on the pattern, so there, that's what we're going for. But the length of strap that hangs off, we're gonna measure that off first on our bias tape. And it's about 12 to 14 inches, so it's actually about the length of the standard sewing machine. So that's what I've been using since it's just right here handy. And so I take my bias tape, I measure across my sewing machine, and then at this point is where I pin it onto the mask to start sewing in that place, start encasing it in that place. This is where I'd use pins no matter what. This is where you need a pin for sure. Okay, I pinned it. I know that I'm going to start sewing the mask like this direction, so I pinned it on this top left corner. I don't know. So just kind of visualize where, like, you're not gonna start sewing the mask over here where the extra is hanging off in this little space in your machine. So I pinned it over here in this area that I already know is like a good spot to start, and then kind of follow this across however much you're gonna need there, and then measure another length of strap against whatever your 12 to 14 inches that you need right there.
I want to eat.
Okay. Okay, we'll have lunch soon. And then do the same thing for the bottom side. I just knock it out and pin all this at once. So there's this length, and I pin the top one over here. I'm gonna pin the bottom one over here because that's where I'm gonna start sewing, just like that. So, if you need to, snip. Like if your bias tape is hanging off, I would snip that with scissors. Okay. Okay, encase this. Okay. All right. And then kind of guesstimate how much is going to go across there, and then measure another length of strap. And okay, this is what I'm talking about of why I do a long continuous piece of bias tape. I'm gonna have this much left over, and if I have this much left over on 50 masks, I could have done another mask, you know, with those pieces all connected. So I am gonna cut this off, otherwise my straps will not be all the same length. And then this is ready to sew. And of course you can pin across the entire length of all these edges, and that will help everything stay together like as you're going. I tend to just, as I'm going along, kind of fix it each few inches as I'm going, and not use pins. So I'm still using the zigzag stitch. I'm gonna snip my threads before I go any further because I like all my threads. I like all my threads to be snipped, and I don't want to forget to do it later. Guys, I've always wanted to teach an adult sewing class, so this is super fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it. Like, even though you've had to click through 3 videos now. So, I've been sewing for lots of years. I don't know, there's probably people who don't know me, but I do a lot of dance costume alterations these days. I just did a forward backward on that spot where I got to where I'm starting to encase the mask. There's probably gonna be the most tension in that spot, so I just did a little forward backward to keep it held really strong right there. So here we go across. Yeah, I do a lot of dance costume alterations, formal wear. I do a lot of bridesmaids dresses alterations. Of course, not right now. All the weddings are canceled. So that sucks. Including my brother's. That's sad. I mean, I think he's just gonna get married on his wedding day, his same wedding day, and then have a reception like 6 months from now. Okay, I got to the end of that strap and I'm just gonna keep rolling on to the next strap. So I'm gonna put it under my foot here. I did a little forward backward at the end of this strap, and as I hop over to the next strap, I'm gonna do another forward backward and then just keep going. I'll cut these apart. Okay, now, right now, I happen to be using white fabric with white thread. That's nice, isn't it? I have sewn every single mask I've done so far with white thread. Doesn't matter what the color. I think right now, people don't really care. I mean, they care, but that's not the point right now. We're not in this for the aesthetics. So whatever thread you have on hand is perfectly fine. Got Mr. Mario Kart back down here if you can't hear that. Take my pin out. Okay. Especially if you're like not back in the groove of sewing very much lately. Like if you haven't sewn in many years and you just got your machine out for this, which is awesome. Something I used to find myself doing a lot is like checking under to make sure there's not like something folded up and underneath hidden, and that's annoying. So I don't know, as you're sewing along, just go ahead and check underneath and see. Make sure you're really only sewing what you want to be sewing. And I'm going along and making sure every single layer of this mask is inside the bias tape as I go. Trying to get it as deep into the bias tape as I can. Okay, did I snip all those apart? Yes. Okay, so here is your mask. You did it. This is what we do when we make our first mask. You have to try it on. So there you go. Looks so good. All right. So hopefully that was not like too complicated for you to understand, because I don't have everybody asking questions right now like, hey Reedy, you completely forgot about telling us this, or this makes no sense at all. So join my Zoom meeting for that. But have fun making these. Go ahead and start knocking them out, and just so you can get a feel of like what actually doesn't make sense to you, like if you're a little rusty, not quite back into sewing yet, if you haven't sewn in a while, just jump in and try to get started and see how far you can get. something that may just appear to not make sense if in just the video right now watching it, it might make more sense when you're actually trying to do it. So go ahead, try to get rolling on this, and I will chat with you all later. So let me know if you have any questions, especially even if it's not on the Zoom call, just email me or whatever. So I'll see you guys later.